Hello, everyone, and welcome to KeeperLive. I am Marcia Dempster, Senior Director of Channel Sales at Keeper Security. Keeper is the top-rated cybersecurity solution for protecting businesses of all sizes from the most common cyber attacks and password-related data breaches. Today, we are focusing on selling cybersecurity in the channel, one of my favorite things. This can be intimidating to some people, but luckily we have the channel expert and close personal friend of mine here today to discuss how truly easy it actually is to sell security in the channel, as well as some tips for picking the right vendor and closing some of those sales, because that's the information that we all really want. Am I right? So welcome to my friend Eric. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, Marcia. Thank you for that nice introduction. Hope you're well today, too. You look
Oh,
fabulous.
thank you. You always look fabulous. We're thrilled to have you here to talk about two things that you know better than almost anyone, the channel as well as technology. So I'm so glad that you've joined us. Thank you for taking the time. I know that you have a ton of knowledge on all things tech, but I think there's a lot that you can share with us on this specific topic. I am going to let Eric introduce himself, and I'm going to stop bragging about him. And he can tell us about how he got to where he is today, some of his background, and what he has going on at his new venture, which is Rise Technology Advisors. Look them up, follow them, they're great. While he's doing that, if you're watching us on this LinkedIn Live, please leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're a channel partner, please let us know if you're already a partner, if you want to be a partner, what company you're with, what you're interested in, so we can all get to know each other a little bit better. As you know, the channel is all about relationships. So let's get to it. So Eric, please kick us off and tell us everything about you.
Well, thank you for that, Marcia. And it's my pleasure to join you today and to join Keeper and all the rest of the folks participating. And please do send your comments in, ask your questions. Let's make sure that this is as beneficial as it can be for all of you on the bridge and all of you on LinkedIn. So I'm Eric Ludwig. I have founded a new firm with my partner, Ed Wu. We were both practice leads at CDW's Integrated Services team for many years. Ed was there for 16, I for 13. And prior to that, we both have telecom backgrounds. I worked at AT&T for the better part of about 13 years. So I've had experience in the networking space. I've been fortunate enough to have experience in the data center space, as well as in unified communications, contact center, managed services, and security is prevalent in every single one of those conversations and has become more and more prevalent and more front and center. We founded Rise Technology really as a focused advisory firm. We don't do all things for all people, but what we do is we help clients validate. We help them understand the different options that are available for them. We help them leverage adjacent and existing investments in technology, and we help them line up the right suppliers and then support them through the life cycle. Keeper being a great partner for us, and one that's really kind of on the front door that I'm sure we'll talk about a bit more, and really a great organization, easy to talk about, and has great resources from Marcia all the way up through the Chief Revenue Officer, Mark Cravato, who's someone I've worked with and am very fond of as well. So again, my pleasure to be here, Marcia, and I look forward to the conversation.
Awesome. Thank you again for being here. So you know the channel very, very well. You actually taught me the channel from some of our times together at CDW. So what would you say channel partners need to do in order to prepare to sell security solutions?
I think the first thing you have to do is know your limits. Don't try and BS your way through security. It won't work. You might have been able to do that in other spaces. It won't work in security. And truth be told, clients don't expect one single expert to know everything that there is to know about security. And you can endear yourself to your audience by suggesting that you don't know everything, but that what you do know, you know well. And so I would say start small and figure out ways to weave security into your conversations, and then dedicate yourself to it. Once every week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is that you have, learn about a new security topic, and then over time you will build kind of that broad security brush. But start small, and it compounds over time, and stay relevant on the things that you've learned in the past, because things change as fast as you can learn them.
That is true. So, do you find that companies that you've talked to, either currently or in the past, are really actively looking for cybersecurity solution specialists, someone that really knows what they're talking about so that they don't have to know everything?
Absolutely. I mean, I read an article in CBS over the summer that there were a 500,000 cybersecurity positions that were unfilled, and I think that's grown pretty rapidly since then. And so the reality is that organizations can't hire fast enough, and there are very few people that can come in and talk an inch deep but a mile wide. So I think as partners, as resources to our customers, and more importantly as the front end resources for our partners, it's incumbent upon us to at least have a baseline understanding and be able to articulate what we can and what we can't do. And without a doubt, Marcia, I think folks that understand the security landscape are ever more valuable and are more likely to get all of the other business downstream if they can have that security conversation upstream.
Yep, that is so true. So, what are some tips that you have for selecting the right cybersecurity vendors?
Well, first and foremost, from my perspective, we need to know that they're dedicated to the channel. We need to know that those organizations are committed to the channel. They're committed to us as partners, and by proxy to our clients. Um, the reality is every cybersecurity vendor continues to grow their portfolio, and while some of them have excellence across every line within their portfolio, not everyone does. And so it's important for us as the front end resources to have support from those cybersecurity vendors, and more importantly, to ensure that those cybersecurity partners and vendors are the best at what they do, and that we feel comfortable and confident standing in front of those folks and putting our brand and our stamp of approval on them, and not just for today, but throughout the life cycle of that relationship. So know your partners and make sure that they allow you to stay involved and don't try and disintermediate you from those conversations that you're having.
Right. I mean, that's one of the biggest things in the channel is it really is about enabling your partners, enabling the vendors, and making sure that in the end your clients end up happy. So that makes a lot of sense.
Indeed.
So, in your opinion, what mistakes do partners make when entering the security space? I think you hit on a really good point earlier, which was that you can't know everything. But a stat that we use here a lot that seems to kind of hit home is 81% of data breaches occur due to a weak password. So I feel like that's an easy one to start with, but what kind of mistakes do you see partners making in this space?
Well, I'll dovetail off that number, Marcia. I mean, people come in and try and sell, the if you draw a reference to how you protect your home, um, you can't have a security solution in your home where you have motion detection and heat maps and whatnot when you don't deadbolt the front door. Deadbolt the doors, lock the windows. Make sure that you are at a minimum protected from those types of threats. And the same is true in that analogy, albeit maybe not the strongest analogy when it comes to the enterprise. So I think one thing is people have a tendency to try and overcomplicate what for many things is not a complicated conversation, which is protect your passwords. I mean, I did a view of my password repository in Keeper before joining this LinkedIn Live, and I have 78 passwords. So you can't possibly know 78 passwords. And so I think when you start to look at where mistakes are made, one, people try and get too complicated. Two, people try and know more than they really know, and they can have a tendency to get caught up. I mean, CISOs, that's all they do all day long. And that's not necessarily what channel partners do all day long. So be humble, be honest. Don't try and boil the ocean. Try and walk through the different nuances of security, and make sure that when you are having those conversations, you know what you're talking about. I'll mention one other thing there, Marcia. You know,
Please.
we always have a mantra, at Rise and prior to that, our team at CDW, and you've heard me say this over and over and over again, that whether it's in the channel or any other type of selling activity, it's a storytelling approach, and the best storytellers win. And you don't have to ambulance chase. And I think that's another issue is that people will ambulance chase. If you talk to an IT professional or any professional in an organization that's been subject to a breach, that where that breach has been publicized, they are inundated with ambulance chasers. If you're trying to chase the ambulance, you're too late.
Yep.
You're not getting it. So instead, be descriptive, go forward with an understanding of what the client has, and make sure that you're being proactive and you're looking out for their best interest. And then when that event happens, they'll come to you rather than you having to go chase them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, this is a good follow-up to our next question. How can companies better prepare their channel partners to sell security products? So obviously, the benefit of password management is an easy entry point into the security space. But, what do you think companies can do to be better prepared with their partners to get into this world?
Sure. I think organizations can really take a good hard look at their existing posture. And everybody, whether you're a person, whether you're a family unit, whether you're a small business, or whether you're an enterprise, you have to find a way to create kind of the line of what your risk is and what you're willing to spend. The truth of the matter is that as you become more secure, incrementally, the cost of acquisition and support of those technologies gets higher. And that's true of your home. If you're deadbolting the door, it's cheaper than if you're getting a security service that will know whether a door opens or whether there's movement in the house or whether there's heat map, etc. And that's true of an enterprise as well. So I think an organization can articulate to their partner community kind of where that line is. What are they looking to accomplish? Two, they can share with that partner any investments that they've already made where they made outside of that partnership. For example, how do you protect your endpoints? How do you protect your core? Are you running your services in the cloud? Are you running content distribution and delivery? What type of Active Directory federation do you use? Are you a CRM company? Do you use IT service management like ServiceNow? Are you a service desk client like Jira and others? And what that does is it allows for a security professional to understand, A, where are you opening up your environment? B, where have you placed your bets financially? And C, how they can leverage those investments to help you as an organization get the most out of your security purchases without having to buy multiple solutions. So I think transparency is absolutely critical. And I think making sure that you're articulating your core values. I think the other thing to really keep in mind is this notion of cybersecurity insurance is becoming more and more critical to every organization. It used to be that it was a throwaway bit of service. And every cyber insurance firm, many of them are regular insurance firms, founded as a profit center, and they've gotten killed because
Oh, yeah.
they've gotten killed because they've had to pay out and their premiums are too low, and those days are over. So I
Yep.
think it's also a question of where does your cybersecurity policy sit? What type of mitigation or remediation might be required in order for you to either maintain or increase the type of cyber policy and the overall umbrella that you have? And what components of that are addressable by a cybersecurity partner in the channel? I mean, password protection is the very first thing that a potential underwriter will look at to assess a security threat, but that can go all the way up and through things like Active Directory and how do you protect your end users, and are they remote via a VPN or are they using a corporate asset? The list goes on and on and on, and that becomes a real opportunity as well for the channel community to find ways to help fulfill and to help ensure that clients aren't taken to the cleaners when their cybersecurity policy comes up for renewal.
Yeah, and we're hearing so much about that, and it's becoming harder and harder to get cyber insurance in order to pay for those ransomware attacks. It's
Indeed.
crazy.
Indeed, it is.
especially in the healthcare space. Like that kind of leads into our next question. And also we have to say hi to our friend Kyle, another partner of ours from the Jetty Group. Hi, Kyle, down in
No.
Texas. What is your opinion on selling security solutions on a fear-based selling technique? And I would like to say the fear is obviously real, like you just mentioned. Like this is a real thing. You don't want to be one of those companies that has PR around a breach, or that all of their customers' data got leaked, or someone's social security number, or anything like that. So the fear is real, but what is your opinion on the fear-based selling model?
Huh. You know, there when I first started at AT&T, one of the things that one of my managers taught me was a term called FUD, and most of us have heard of it. It's an acronym for fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and it's a powerful buying emotion for clients, and it has its place when people don't understand the brevity and they don't understand the potential risk to their organization, to the constituents that they serve, their clients, their coworkers, and to themselves. So, the struggle is real. And I don't see any reason why we can't tap into that. But I think we need to be mindful of kind of going over our skis on that. I referenced ambulance chasing earlier. I think that there's enough information in the news today. You can't pick up it's funny, you've got lines of demarcation in the news today, and everybody's asking themselves what's real and what's not real. I don't care if you're on the right or you're on the left. But one thing is true, whether you read the Wall Street Journal, whether you read the New York Times, the Post, the Daily News, there's a cybersecurity breach on the business in the business section and the tech section every single day. So I think that the fear-based selling approach has its place, but I think that security and cybersecurity in particular are top of mind enough that if you have the proper conversation with your client and you're part of that trusted community
Mhm.
and they understand that you have their best interest at heart, that you really don't have to go too far. You can mention it. You can talk about what other firms in their industry are doing or not doing without really hitting that fear, uncertainty, and doubt and going overboard. But it certainly has its place. And I think it's incumbent upon us to read the room, read the audience, and understand how deep do you really need to go before you're in over your head.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The struggle is real.
It's real.
I mean, this is free advice you're getting from Eric today. He's normally not free, so soak it up, folks. Um, Eric, what do you do? And I imagine this is something you encounter a lot. What do you do if a partner is uncomfortable selling the way you sell? Like you're clearly a very technical seller. You have a ton of relationships in the channel. How does someone sell at your level? Is that even possible?
Oh, anything's possible, of course, and thank you. You flatter me, Marcia. But there are people in the channel that can run circles around me. And truth be told, when it comes to security, there are security focused professionals that's all they do, and they're great. But many of them are have a very high opinion of themselves because they're so great. And so, I think people need to stay humble. I think people need to pick technologies and technology partners that they're comfortable with. And at the end of the day, I think that you need to understand, what does your client do? Where are their risks? And if you understand their business, it doesn't matter what someone else comes with in terms of the newest shiny object or the best new vendor. It's the client doesn't care. The client cares about how it's relevant to them. And so I am not comfortable when people come in pushy, making suggestions about what clients have to do or need to do. We're born with two ears and one mouth. And there's a reason for that. And I think it's important to listen first and then talk. And I'm not afraid to call out partners in front of clients. I prefer not to, but at the end of the day, we serve our clients first and our partners second, and hopefully ourselves third. And so I say, make sure you're looking out for your clients and don't be afraid to have the tough conversations. And at the end of the day, you'll serve yourself pretty well. Did I answer your question? I might
Yes.
have talked around it.
No, you
Okay.
totally did.
All right.
I think it's important that people realize that not everybody is an expert on everything, and that's why they go to partners. That's why they go to Rise Technology Advisors. That's why people have consultants to tell them what to do. You can't know everything about everything, and
Indeed.
it's important that people sell that. So, Eric, tell us how the people can get in touch with you.
Oh, well, thanks, Marcia. We are online at risetechadvisors.com. You can find us on LinkedIn at Rise Technology Advisors or Rise Tech Advisors. You can also look up me, Eric Ludwig, or Ed Wu. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to engage with you. We're happy to work with other channel partners as well. And I think that's also critically important. Don't be afraid to reach out to another partner that you're more comfortable with or more confident with. I think this notion of partners helping partners or partners partnering with partners, it makes a lot of sense. If
Yeah,
you've got a real strong security background, it might be helpful for you to reach out to somebody to help you through the customer experience and sell contact center. Conversely, if you're really strong in the network space, or you're a former PBX vendor and you ventured into the channel and you're trying to become strong in security, use your relationships, partner with an organization that you feel confident with, whether it's Rise or whether it's any number of esteemed colleagues that I have throughout the channel, and serve your client, because half of something is better than all of nothing, and your clients will thank you for it, and you're likely to become a better and more trusted partner for doing it.
absolutely. That's so accurate. Um, Eric, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. I know your time is normally very expensive, so thank you for doing me this favor. I know everyone, including myself, got a lot of great information out of this session around selling cybersecurity solutions in the channel. Obviously, you guys will be at channel partners. I will be at channel partners. Every channel partner that is watching, come find us. We'll probably end up doing something together. Rise is a great partner of Keeper, so I'm always excited to have you with us, Eric. And one of these days, we'll get Ed on here too.
Indeed, I'll look forward to that. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Mark. Thank you for being a great partner, and best of luck to everyone participating, and thank you all for joining us.
Of course. So thank you everyone for watching Keeper Live. For more information on Keeper, any of our products, or just some cybersecurity best practices, please visit us at keepersecurity.com. I am Marcia Dempster. For myself and my good friend Eric, this has been Keeper Live. We will see you next time. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.